AV in your ears, that's ambush being giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street. You already know, let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
This is Aaron Perino from The Sheila Divine, and you're listening to the Fascination Street podcast.
AV in your ears, that's ambush being giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street. You already know, let's get it when you whip in the Fascination Street. What do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with the Dutch Kills. It's all of them. We got Heather on drums, Alec on guitar, Maxine on bass, and Julia on guitar and singing as well. In this episode, we get to know the Dutch Kills and how they got to know each other. We find out what led all four of these fine young people to gather in New York City and make face-melting music. We talk some about their debut EP, which came out about a year ago, called The Rot. It is streaming everywhere. Go check that out. It is 5 kick-ass songs. We talk a little bit about each of those songs and where those ideas came from. We also talk about their newest single called Cheap Love, which came out mid-February, and they agreed to let me play it on this show. But just because you got to hear it for free doesn't mean you don't owe them a thing. Go stream it. Stream it a lot so they each get a penny. And keep your eyes peeled for their forthcoming new EP. They don't know what it's going to be called yet, but I guarantee you it's going to be sick as shit. The songs are already written for it. They're just not recorded. But I think you will agree with me after listening to this episode that these 4 musicians are really passionate about what they do, and they are driven. So go check them out. Again, this is the Dutch Kills featuring Maxine, Alec, Heather, and Julia. And this is my conversation with all 4 members of the New York-based indie rock band, the Dutch Kills.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Oh my God, there's so many of you.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
We're all joining in my bedroom.
Oh, it totally scared me. Sorry about that. I know I was expecting all of you, but I was expecting probably like 4 different pop-up screens or something. This is cool as shit. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
How are you doing?
I cannot complain. I can. I'm going to. All right, buckle in. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas, where it's always hot as shit here. But today it's 20 degrees, and that is not what we're down for here.
Yeah, that is not pleasant.
And then they said, oh, and also a cold front is coming. And I was like, what? It's supposed to be like 6 tomorrow. That's not good for us. We don't handle that very well at all.
Yeah, I feel like your infrastructure is not really like set up for that.
You are correct. Like 3 years ago, during kind of this same time frame, we had a cold snap, and half the state lost power.
Oh my God.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Julia, raise your hand. Who's everybody else? Names?
I'm Maxine. I play bass in the band.
Oh, nice. My dad plays bass.
Oh, nice.
He doesn't look anything like you. As a matter of fact, I just saw this really cool band last night, and the bass player was the front person. It was amazing. I wasn't expecting it. It surprised me. All right, Maxine plays bass. Who's next?
I'm Alec. I play guitar.
Alec with a C at the end?
Yeah, the C.
Nice. And next?
I'm Heather. I play drums.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Whoa. So,
okay, so are all of you ready?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, The Dutch Kills. What's up?
Hey, thanks for having us.
All right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Dutch Kills. They are a sick band out of New York City. We have Julia Von Dutch. She's the singer. I think she writes some of the songs. Julia, do you play anything else? Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, I sing and I play guitar.
Oh, snap. We got Maxine on bass, Alec on guitar, and Heather on the drums. if we had to point fingers with our voices, who is the lead guitarist?
Alec for
Alec,
sure.
Alec.
Alec was like, I'm not pointing any fingers at all. Just
I'll let the finger be pointed at me.
y'all all look pretty young. We don't say ages on this show because it's really nobody's damn business, but are y'all young?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Maybe not
young.
as young
Not
as
the
you
youngest
think.
you could be.
Yeah, we're not the youngest there.
Post college.
Post college. Oh, I would not have guessed that at all.
Yeah. No, we're not in school anymore. So
Sure. No, y'all are taking great care of your skin. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
That person that I get my alcohol from at the bodega carded me the other day, even though he sees me every single week, and he said to me, "You don't look a day over 17." So I'm going with that now.
Wow.
Even though it's plus a decade.
So what was the alcohol?
It was White Claw, but it's because I can't.
And this is over. White
I'm allergic
Claw.
to beer. I'm very limited.
You're allergic to beer?
Yeah, I have celiac.
Oh, congratulations. I don't know if you know this, but I just saw this the other day and it blew my mind. This is not sponsored by White Claw. Okay, first of all, do you like the taste of White Claw or do you just like that it's not beer?
I just like that it's alcohol that I'm not like allergic to.
Right. How about the rest of you? Do you like the taste of White Claw?
Yes, I do.
some of them. But sometimes it's just like poison.
Not lime.
Yeah.
Not lime or watermelon.
It kind of
Really,
tastes like
lime's
it's
what I like.
taking something away from you when you sip on it.
Yeah.
Well, I discovered the other day, quite by accident, that White Claw also sells, get this, a non-alcoholic version of their product. Like, can you
Okay.
imagine? I'm like, doesn't Capri Sun already do that? Like, I don't. What is that?
Super.
All right, how did you guys meet?
We met at NYU. Alec, Maxine, and we met through like some comedy friends. They were in improv. We met through like a mutual friend because I used to go to Maxine's improv shows. And then in the summer of 2022, we started playing together, like jamming out in my room. And then we kind of had like a moment of just like, I'm either going to start a band now or it's never going to happen. I knew Alec could rip guitar, so I was like, come on in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we started playing like January.
of 2023.
Yeah.
We got a temporary drummer on Craigslist and used their space for a bit and had our first like official practice.
That's sort of reminded me of a previous guest of the show, Willa Rudolph. I'm not sure if you guys know her.
Oh, yeah.
But when she was putting her band together, she kind of just threw up some Instagram posts and was like, hey, I need a drummer, or hey, I need a guitarist, or whatever. And it all just happened. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I wish I could find the post. What we put on Craigslist was so funny. We were like, looking for a hot drummer, must
No
be
way.
a girl.
Yeah.
And then we had like all of these men just be like, I'm not a girl and I'm not young, but I can
Like,
play
of
drums.
course, because we were like two young, hot women in the city.
Why did you specify that the drummer needed to be a girl?
We wanted a femme majority.
Yeah, I think it can be hard as like women playing in like predominantly male spaces sometimes. Just like for me personally, it can be intimidating because I just have a hard time feeling like confident in like speaking my mind and like trying stuff out. And it's like really comfortable to have this like femme majority here. And Alec is
I'm a
one of the
complete
girls.
doormat, so I'll.
He's our honorary girl. No.
Nice. That was the temporary drummer, right?
Yes. So Heather
Okay, so how did Heather let her say it? God.
Well, they didn't work out with that drummer, apparently.
Cool.
Yeah, so they were looking for a drummer, and my girlfriend was like school friends from NYU with these guys.
Oh, rad.
Rest is history.
And so they were like, hey, do you know a drummer? And then she was like, yeah, like that.
Kind of, I think so. I guess.
Where does the name The Dutch Kills come from?
Oh, I used to take these like long subway rides to Astoria in college when I was like pretty sad. And there's this stop on the end train called
Hold on. You make it seem like you were just all sad and morose, and you're like, you know what I'm going to do today for no reason at all? I'm just going to take the subway to Astoria. Whamp, whamp. Like, were you going to Astoria for a reason, or were you just like sad? You're like, I'll just take this train wherever it goes.
It was really more the latter. Well, I had that whole thing where I was like, I just got to get out of the city. But I was like, but I can't really. because getting out of the city is expensive. And then where am I going to stay? And then also then I'd probably have to go back and it'll be dark and I'll be sad. But Astoria feels like exotic. It's far-ish. So I would like take the N train and then just like go to the Astoria Park and just sit and be like grumpy and then go back an hour later. But there's this stop on the N train called the Dutch Kills.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a street in a neighborhood in Queens. So I remember seeing it being like, that would be a sick name for a band. And I put it in a notes app with the title band names.
What were the other band names on that app?
I'm trying to think.
There was like Rainbow Kitten.
Well, that's a band, Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
No, but there was like a riff on
There was one that was like Space Cats or like Cats in Space or something. There was one I really liked that was really Billy Joel.
I love that.
I thought that one was
It was really Billy?
really Billy Joel. Like, we're really Billy Joel. He's not. There was one that I really liked. Oh, no, I can't remember. Oh, it was Absent Father's Future Boyfriend. I liked that one.
Hold on, I'm doing the math on that one. Hold on.
FFB.
Yeah, right.
The three of you met at NYU. The fourth of you met because of NYU. Julia, why did you go to NYU? Where are you from? Oh, shit. That's how I start the show. Okay, everybody tell me where you're from. Julia, where did you grow up?
I'm from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
What a huge, huge leap. Why did you go to NYU?
I just love the city, and so I definitely wanted to go to school here.
Had you visited it, or did you just love it from TV and movies?
I only went once whenever I was 12 for a One Direction concert. So that's all I knew. And then I had a friend from Arkansas go here and he's like, you'll love it. So I came and visited and fell in love and knew I wanted to spend some time in the city.
So NYU to be what?
I studied marketing and studio art. So not the most fun, but
Studio art, like graphic art, that kind of thing, like painting and things like that?
like mixed mediums. Like I did like photography, screen printing, painting, drawing, a bunch of different classes.
That's going to come in handy at the merch table.
I design and print all of our merch, and I make a lot of our flyers too.
Kick ass. Maxine, why did you go to NYU? Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota,
Any particular area?
like outside of Minneapolis.
Oh, okay, sure.
It was fine. I just didn't really have a great time there growing up. Like, it wasn't that bad, but the whole time I was sort of thinking to myself, I sort of just want to be somewhere else.
So, like, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't for you?
Yeah, it wasn't great. I don't want to knock it because I'm so happy for all the people that live there. They've got so much great music and shit. I remember like just seeing New York, you know, in movies, etc., and watching SNL or whatever and being like, man, I want to go to the big city so bad, and just hoping that it would be good. And I was nervous when I moved there that I was sort of just like over romanticizing it, but I ended up, I really like it. I love the city.
So do you think that you over romanticized it or no? You think you were spot on?
No, I mean, it's definitely not like what I had envisioned when I was 18, but when I was 18, I was like stupid.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, right. And now I've comfortably created a life here that feels real and also just more energetically what I wanted.
So when you were sitting home in some random suburb outside of Minnesota, would you get sad and take the bus to some faraway land and sit in the park sad and then get back on the bus and go home?
I would actually do something really similar, but with my car, where I would get sad and then I would take all the side roads in my town and just like wind around in my car. And then I would drive to, you know, those like corporate ponds that are between like corporate buildings, you know?
I do.
I would go to this one called Centennial Lakes and then just stand, stare.
Just stand there and stare?
Yeah, just.
No, that's not weird.
Well,
That's not weird at all.
Read. It's Minnesota.
Did you say it's too cold to read?
Well, I couldn't like go to the park and like read because it's like 30 degrees, you know. So it's like, yeah, you're
All right, breaking news, streetwalkers. Everybody in Minnesota is dumb. They can't read. Good Lord.
Yeah, they're too cold to read.
Just kidding. Love you, Minnesota. Heather, where are you from? And then why did you go to New York?
I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina. I moved here after college. I went to North Carolina.
Which North Carolina did you go to?
I went to UNCW.
Oh, okay, cool. To be what?
Film studies major. I like making like movies.
Is that because you're from Wilmington? I know they have a huge TV and film community there, right?
Yeah, that's exactly why. Yeah.
One of my favorite shows ever I'm sure it was before you were born, was Dawson's Creek, and it was filmed there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love Dawson's Creek.
Fucking love Dawson's Creek.
Joey and Pacey forever.
Yep, exactly. You know, Dawson actually lives about an hour and a half from me.
Really?
He moved to Texas a couple of years ago, like during COVID or whatever. But spoiler alert, he's got some crazy rough cancer, so he's going through it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, James.
So say a little prayer for James Vanderbeek, everybody.
My dad sold him a motorcycle because that was my dad's business. And
Maxine, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I actually also make movies and stuff. Heather and I just made a movie together, actually. She was the DP on something that I wrote.
Is it a short film or a full feature?
It is a short film. It's like 12 minutes long.
All right, cool. Streetwalkers, I hope you're watching the YouTube version because here it is right now. Just kidding. What's it about?
It's sort of about this couple that is in New York, and then one of them is moving away, and the one that's staying behind is like, what if the environmental apocalypse hits and you won't be around to like hold me for when it happens? And the other one's like, well, if you can make it out to the south and like see me if the environmental apocalypse happens to hit, then we can spend it together.
The other one just gets on a train and gets all sad.
Yeah, just sort of like wanders. But yeah, it does end with like hurricanes destroying New York City, which is a fear of mine.
Spoiler alert.
She goes out to try to see her ex-lover, but it's like not really the same, and you know, they can't really recreate what they had.
Sure. That makes sense. Okay, so Julia's got all the cover art and all the merch designs and all that stuff locked down. Maxine and Heather, they're doing all the music videos. Alec, bro, you better come with it. What are you bringing to this table? Where are you from, man?
Well, I bring the good looks to the table.
Oh, shit.
Everyone says. We love the one guy.
Can't compete.
I'm from Palos Verdes, California, so like 40 minutes outside LA.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly where that is.
But I grew up there. My mom's from Long Island, and she went to law school at NYU, so I'd come and visited a handful of times growing up. And NYU just seemed like a good option, seemed like something real different than Southern California. You know, a lot of cool music, comedy stuff going on. And I've been here since.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
For a long time, a guitar player. I played trumpet before then for a long time growing up. Like, music was always the thing, so kind of doing it, which is pretty awesome.
Do you still play the trumpet?
No, but I could.
But what are the chances we're going to hear some sick trumpet in one of these songs?
Yeah.
It's be amazing. I can't wait. Oh no, because if you bring the trumpet in, then it's going to turn into a ska band. Bro, throw the trumpet away.
Yeah.
You guys get together roughly 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
2022, 2023, 2022, 2023. Okay.
It was like official.
Official.
First practice. Yeah.
All right, rad. Do you have a practice space or do you do it at your apartment?
Yeah, we've been in a few, but we just got a pretty good sized practice space in East Williamsburg. We practice like once a week. It's a cozy spot. There's like bus seats in it. It's pretty eclectic.
Yeah, it's a 6-pack with a lot of bands that we know also practice there, so it's fun to like run into them.
Oh, they don't practice in the same space, just in the same building or something?
No, just in the same building.
Yeah.
It's a huge building. It's probably got like 200 practice rooms or something.
Yeah.
And that's what all of the rooms, like this whole building is just practice rooms for bands?
Yeah. I don't know what it used to be. It's called the Danbro building, but like basically so many of like the band practice spaces are in that area. It's like an industrial area in Bushwick. So like we run into other bands all the time there, and we share it with a few other bands.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
It's so fun.
That is really cool because that's how you can build a community. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
What's up, everybody? If you're listening to this, then it's your lucky day. Be sure to check out our entertainment-based podcast, Inside the Crazy Ant Farm, on all podcast platforms and YouTube, where each week we talk about the latest news that is going down in Hollywood. And on top of that, we also interview your favorite celebrity guests. Yes, that's right, we break them out of their shell and let them get a little crazy. It's all about having a good time on our show, so be sure to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube at ITCAF Podcast. and on our YouTube channel, Crazy Ant Media.
Let's get back into it.
You guys put out your very first, we say debut, EP, The Rot, in January of 2025. Is there 5 songs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it called The Rot?
So when I was writing the song,
I'm going to interrupt you.
oh no,
My favorite thing just now is that I asked a question and I was staring at all of you, and 3 of you looked at one of you, and then that one started talking, but none of you could see each other staring at the other one. So it was kind of cool. None of you said anything. Y'all all just looked at Julia, but Julia didn't know you were looking at her, and none of y'all. That was really cool. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. That was really cool.
no, well, I write a lot of the songs, like I'll bring in a riff to practice, or like sometimes I'll write it and then teach it, or like we'll jam on something. But so writing The Rot, I mean, it was 5 different songs.
Hold on. What is that noise? Is somebody tapping a foot?
Someone's moving downstairs.
Oh, will you tell them to fuck right off?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. It's fine.
So you're good. So the EP has 5 different songs. And I probably wrote most of them in the span of a month.
When you say wrote most of them, do you mean the words and the music? Just the words, just the music?
Like the words, the structure, the chord progressions. But in terms of like solos, like I let everyone kind of do their own thing.
Sure. So you brought these raw songs to the table and then everybody did their thing.
Yeah, we kind of build on each other for sure, like in practice. But when writing the songs, it was kind of like a reflection on a past relationship.
All 5 of the songs are a reflection on the same relationship?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a breakup one, even though the relationship was like a year before that, but it's like a breakup EP, but sort of reflecting on it a year later. The whole idea about The Rot is the song The Rot is about looking at nature and seeing that it can age gracefully, like it can deal with suffering gracefully. Like the fruit has no shame in rotting. If nature doesn't feel shame about it, why do I have to? It's also about like getting older, like not seeing myself like getting older and seeing it as a bad thing, but being like, if nature can do it gracefully, so can I. So that was like the idea behind the whole EP, but all of them is like different feelings about like coming out of dating. So like the counter is about like having a crush on someone, they don't like you back, and like you're dancing on the counter thinking all about her, but she should be thinking of me. And like dealing with all those things, getting back into dating and like going on shitty dates and like having to meet new people, having crushes on people that don't like you back, and like getting back into dating and remembering that it's like not as fun as you remember it always.
Those are all pretty grown up and yet grounded concepts. Where do you think that those came from? The whole attitude, like that's pretty introspective to be like, oh, well, I mean, if the universe isn't afraid to rot, why should I be? Like, where does that come from, do you think? Where did you get that?
I don't know. I feel like whenever I turned like 23 or like I was post-college and like really started to feel like, oh, I'm getting like older. I'm like moving on to a different chapter of life and like starting to think about like getting older physically and stuff. I don't know. Women have like are like really harshly like criticized as they get older about like their looks and doing shit to their face and stuff like that. And
I saw The Substance, and also I had seen everybody who was in Friends now.
Yeah. No, but I was like just starting to feel that.
I feel like people, but women especially, I feel like they're starting to feel that pressure younger and younger and younger. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to name them, but there's music artists and acting artists who like they're not even 30 yet and they're having plastic surgery already because the pressure is so great.
Yeah.
To look, I guess, perfect or young or stay young forever or whatever it is. And that's pretty fucked up. Please continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But basically it was that kind of like also inspired. It's also about like the breakup, but then also The Rot is a little bit about like getting older physically and like not feeling shame about it.
So you mentioned The Counter and what that's about. What are the other tracks on this album?
There's The Counter, The Rot, The Bitter Start, which is like kind of the slow one, Dangerous. And then Are You Kidding Me?
Wait, you didn't say Cheap Love at all.
Cheap Love is the single that we have coming out tomorrow.
So that's not even from that first album. Oh, this is a whole new thing.
Yeah.
It was January of 2024.
Oh, I'm so stoops. I completely thought The Rot came out January 2025. My apologies.
No, you're
All
good.
good.
We love talking about the EP.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find this EP? Because it sounds dope as hell.
It's streaming on everything.
Is there a thedutchkills.com?
Yes.
Yes.
There is.
There is. Can people purchase that album there?
No, but there's links to stream it.
Okay, here's the thing, and I've got to know this. You guys are young and hip and fresh out of college, and y'all know all of the things, and you have this community of other bands in this space. So I have to know this because I run into this all the time with artists. You have a website. You also have music. Music is a product that for some reason you don't sell on your website. You just tell people to go stream it where they have to listen to it 5,000 times for each of you to share 1 penny. Why don't you sell downloadable MP3 versions of your music on these websites? I don't understand this. Like, I hear it from everybody.
Yeah.
And every time I bring it up, everybody's just like, well, I just never thought of that. And I don't understand that because let's just say I go to iTunes or whatever they're calling their version of iTunes these days, and I want to buy, let's just say Cheap Love, right? I want to buy the song Cheap Love. I want to purchase it so that it's on my phone and I can listen to it when I'm in airplane mode or when I don't have any service, or I want to listen to it on my phone. So I purchase it. For sake of numbers, let's just say it cost me 99 cents. Mm-hmm. Apple keeps 66 cents of that. 33 cents, you four get to split. Now, that sucks, but it's way better than if I pay my $9.99 a month for Spotify. I listen to 5,000 songs a month. None of y'all are even going to get a whole penny when I listen to your song. But if you had downloadable MP3s and somebody purchased it, let's just go back to the 99 cents. All four of you are almost going to get a quarter instead of getting to share 1 penny after I listen to it 5,000. Why don't you have downloadable MP3s for sale?
We're working on
it's
that.
definitely something to think about. I think it's something that we didn't prioritize because, like, in this past year, we've mostly been playing for like a demographic that's mostly like our own peers and like the people around us. And
I feel like no one would be buying it.
Yeah, most people stream.
But we have made
people.
CDs and
Yeah.
tapes.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of merch. I feel like that's what we think about trying to sell.
Yeah.
More than the music, which is hilarious.
We definitely will put it on Bandcamp where you can get money.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that I am old. Fun fact, the Ramones, famous New York City band, they sold more t-shirts than records. So maybe, Heather, you're onto something there with the focus on the merch. I'm so sorry I went down that road. I'm more sorry now after I found out why, because it's I'm old and nobody buys MP3s. But to that point, who buys CDs? Like, both of my cars don't have a CD player. I don't even know if I have a CD player in my house. So how are you selling CDs?
It's kind of like the next revival of like people are going back to records and stuff. I think people are kind of also going back to CDs. I also had my dad make some tapes.
Cassette tapes.
Yeah. I think people are really loving cassette tapes these days as like a commodity because it's cute, the little like tape itself, and like the band can customize it.
A couple of years ago, I actually interviewed a guy who has a record company, but he only releases music on cassettes.
Wow.
So it's not a label. He just has a company that, I mean, he makes your cassettes and that's the only thing he makes. And I was so confused when I interviewed him. And that was several years ago. And now here you guys are talking about it still. So I guess cassettes are a thing.
Yeah. I think people really like the idea of like owning their media, but instead of like downloading it, it feels like it
like having something
having
physical.
something, especially because like a lot of people our age, I feel like didn't really have that growing up, or maybe did, you know, at the beginning of like their like adolescence, but then it was streaming for so long. And there's definitely, I think, this like push toward people like streaming music for so long, having this like desire to like physically own the thing. So I think that is on the rise, hopefully.
Yeah, it's cheaper than vinyl. So
yeah.
That's true. I was just at a show last night. I think I mentioned it, and they were selling vinyl records for $50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A hat was $30, a t-shirt was $20, but a vinyl record was $50. Now it was cool because it was a clear vinyl, but still $50. That's a lot of money. So the Rot, that came out a year ago. It's old and stuff. But everybody can check it out everywhere where you stream stuff. Do you sell CDs of it on your DutchSkills.com or no?
No, I need to set that up. I basically like, it's kind of a janky website. I need to update it.
Cool. I'm not here to bash you. I'm just here to give everybody the info. So the best place to listen to the Rot is everywhere streaming?
Yes. And then to buy anything like merch, our Instagram is definitely the place to go.
Oh, Instagram. Okay, what kind of stuff is on your merch?
I ship everything from my apartment. So like t-shirts, we just got tote bags. I think we have like one more tape. Like I think we sold out of all of those, but it's mainly like t-shirts and totes right now.
We're trying to do bikinis.
Oh yeah. Dutch Kills bikinis.
Oh, I can't wait, Alec.
That's something you're interested in.
That's interesting. Okay, so The Rot is a year old. Everybody go check it out everywhere.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
On this podcast, we explore fantastical thinking, moral panics, urban legends, conspiracy theories, hoaxes, and crazes, examine the forces that shape our culture, and tell the stories that create the realities we share, and sometimes the realities we don't. I'm your host, Chelsea Weber Smith, and this is American Hysteria.
Let's get back into it.
I want to talk about Cheap Love. Now, Cheap Love is the new single that came out last month. I have listened to this song, Cheap Love. I dig it.
Thank you.
Oh, and the cover art, I'm assuming that the photo that was in the press release is the cover for the single, or
yes.
Is it going to be part of an album or an EP or just a single?
This one's just going to be a single.
So are we transitioning to a singles world now?
We just released another single called Ew, but probably the next thing for us is another EP. We have like 4 or 5 songs like ready to go, and then there'll be like one more single, but I think we're ready to share another EP.
So why did you guys decide to release these 2 singles separate from your previous and forthcoming EP? Why singles? Just to see what they do, or?
I feel like, we wanted to get some more music out there because I think sometimes, making something that is more like EP or album length is definitely a lot of time and a lot of love. We also, we're paying for this out of our band budget, etc. So we wanted to make sure that we had the resources to at least make 2 songs exactly how we wanted, and just, spend the time on those in between.
Yeah, it was the fastest, cheapest way to get some stuff out.
Oh, okay. Can I play Cheap Love on this episode?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, look, I got 4 yeses. I can't believe it. I should play the lottery. Would you guys like to introduce this like you're a radio DJ? Do they still have radios? Do they still have DJs?
Yeah.
College radio is huge.
We did this one radio intro in Brazil. We were like, we're the Dutch Kills, and you're listening to Dangerous.
Yes, do that, except don't say dangerous.
Okay. We're the Dutch Kills, and you're listening to Cheap Love on Fascination Street podcast.
That was so well done. I can't believe it. Usually when I have an artist do that, and I mean almost 100% of the time, they stumble with the word fascination. It doesn't matter where they're from. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how famous they are. They always struggle with saying that whole thing. All 4 of you did it without messing up at all. That was so dope. Well done. Cheap Love. Is this another breakup song?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like a bummer because I wrote it while I was in the relationship. So it was like the writing on the walls. I have a bad habit.
Same relationship?
Yeah.
You know how to pick them. Is what my mom used to say to me. So it's fine.
I wrote that song in the relationship and I showed it to him. And I was like, this is like the writing on the walls, sort of. And he's like, I love it. I'm just like, I don't know. It was such a direct like message. It was definitely the writing on the walls.
So when you showed it to this person, were you expecting this person to be like, oh shit, so I should just pack my stuff? Or did you show it to this person and be like, hey, check this out. Isn't this cool? It's completely not about you.
I don't even know what I expected out of it.
I feel like when you give somebody that you're in a relationship with like a piece of media, I do feel like the first instinct of having them be like, this is about you wanting to break up with me would be like a wild thought.
Yeah.
It
was bad of me to do that.
I guess what I'm saying is you did what we never thought.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I think that the more narcissistic the person is, the more they're going to think it's about them because everything is about them.
Yeah.
So I'm wildly surprised that person wasn't like, hey, man.
Yeah. He was like, great song, honey. I was like, I'm so unhappy.
You should have got on a train and taken it to Astoria.
Yeah, man, I'll give you my like end train path. Astoria Park. Oh, it's a great place to stare off and be sad.
Heather, do you have any lyrics in you?
Any lyrics in me?
Mm-hmm. You gonna write some songs? You gonna write some lyrics? What's up?
Oh,
Alec back there is like, oh yes, this one. He's like, this chick right here.
I make my own music separately. I have my own project called Pinky Verde. So I write all those songs and stuff like that.
Pinky Verde.
Yeah.
Where does that name come from? And why do you have your own separate project? You're supposed to be all in with these cats.
I know.
Traitor.
I am basically all in.
So you do write stuff, but you write stuff for Pinky Verde?
I do, yeah.
And then you contribute to the Dutch Skills projects?
Yeah.
All right, rad. All right, Alec, you're pointing fingers. We talked about this at the beginning. What's you pointing fingers, bro?
Mm-hmm.
You writing stuff?
I mean, yeah. There's definitely some songs we have that are based on like riffs that I brought in. I don't know if there's any that are streaming, but it's definitely like there's a couple, and also parts come from me, like whatever I'm playing that's not just the main like chords.
What about words?
Not so much. Not for this. I'll do some stuff on my own time, but nothing for this. I think this is really Julia's the voice and kind of the lyricist behind it. Yeah. And so I'm just trying to amplify that however I can.
Maxine, I'm not going to ask you because you grew up in a place where it was too cold to learn how to read.
I did learn how to make music, though. Also, I was an English major in college. I do want to say, despite it being too cold to read, I persevered.
It's your whole deal.
Are you using that English major at all to help Julia with all these lyrics, or is this just her thing and you guys are all along for the ride?
Oh, I wouldn't say that it's just her thing. I would say like story.
That sounded way more disrespectful than I meant it to. I did not mean that at all. I'm so sorry it came out like that.
I definitely write my own music, but I would say like the story of it is more like folk indie stuff. So I usually just like keep it under my name. I would say for us, like for the Dutch Kills, it feels like a band as a unit, but like the storytelling voice is Julia. And then that's like one part of this like bigger whole together. But I think that, you know, we've found a way to incorporate all of our creative voices in maybe different ways. You know, like we all write music, but we can like channel different aspects of like our music making abilities into this band. And I think we found like a piece with that.
I love that.
Well, I think like having that part of your brain, like if the three of us are songwriters independently, like that gives you a better perspective on adding to stuff that Julia writes.
Yeah.
Like being like, I know this part I came up with will work over what you did because I have experience with that in the past. Like I think that always helps, like you be a better band member.
Yeah.
I used to work for a company. It was a restaurant, and they had a rule with the company that you could not be a general manager of one of their restaurants unless you worked for several other general managers. because to your point, Alec, you learn things from this person, and then you learn things from that person, and you learn things from that person that then you can sort of coalesce and then do your own thing. So I really like that approach, and the way you said that, Alec. Do you guys play shows in front of people?
Yeah. We just had a show on Saturday. I feel like we try and play at least 1 or 2 shows a month.
Yeah.
Is that something that is coming back? I know that COVID really decimated the live music scene. Is it coming back in New York?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would say the live music scene here is so great right now. There's so many venues of just like a huge spectrum of sizes and types of audience, and like so many places that you can play, and you meet so many cool people. I feel like there's an energy too that's just really like has just a lot of forward momentum. It's like people just want to get together and like play music together.
It's definitely a social thing. Like if we're like, what are you guys doing this week? Like, are any shows we can go to? Just like, it's a place where you kind of like see other people that are in music, hang out with other bands, and like we'll often go to shows together. I feel like bands in New York are really good about supporting each other and showing up at each other's shows, which rocks.
Yeah.
Especially when there's places like, did you say the Danbo building?
Danbro. Yeah,
Danbro.
exactly. It's just an extension of that. I just think everyone seems to want to meet everyone else right now. And it's just such a great community.
It seems like a really, really cool community. Are there other places like that building? Like, that's not the only building that does that, right?
Yeah, our last practice space, same. It's like a few blocks away from there. It's kind of like the industrial area. I don't even know if there's a name to that building, but it's just like basically a warehouse with all these like practice space boxes. There's a lot of different ways that communities like building, either like sharing studios, like trying to play shows with people that you share a studio with, or like, oh, and like I feel like everyone's like just 1 degree of separation away from each other, which is cool.
Who books the shows? Who's the manager, so to speak, of you guys?
Me, for the most part.
So how hard is it to book shows? Since there's so many bands that are playing, is there enough venues for everybody to do this?
There's a bunch. And I feel like as we've been playing more, like we've been able to be a little bit more selective. Like whenever we were trying to book our first show, like no one would book us because they're like, oh, you have nothing streaming. And
All right, they were like, who? I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, you're out.
There's like 2,000 other bands that want to play. Like,
yeah.
You know. And it helps with that building that community too, because you meet a bunch of people that are putting on their own bills, and then, you know, they want to have like 2 or 3 other bands on that as well. And so it's like, it's not like transactional like that, but if you go to enough shows and meet enough people, then, you know, there's going to be people that think you're cool and want to put you up. And so
it's also like, if you play enough shows, you get to a point where you don't have to search for a show to play. People just come to you and ask you if you want to hop on a show or a bill. If you want to like curate a really cool show, then you of course have to work more for that and asking around. But after you play enough shows like we have, it's like really, really easy now.
I think like aside from the shows that we're playing in Austin, like over South by Southwest, our next like 5 shows or whatever are people that came to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is super cool.
We put together a bill like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, whenever we curate our own bills, like we sold out that one 2 weeks ago. Like the turnout will be a little bit better versus like hopping on. But yeah.
You mentioned South by Southwest in Austin. Are you guys playing South by Southwest in Austin?
Unofficially.
So no.
So you're not part of the program, but you're going to be playing on 6th Street or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. We have like 2 or 3 things lined up.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
So how hard was that to book? I know that everybody descends on Austin like locusts during that time. How hard was it to book those spaces?
I feel like we got a little bit lucky. I basically just looked up all of the venues there and then just sent them like a pitch email saying like, hey, we're the Dutch Kills. We're a rock band from New York. We literally just want to play as many shows as we can. This is our sound. If you have any bills that we could jump on, let us know. Some people got back to us. You kind of just have to be persistent. Like,
it was follow-up emails for sure.
Yeah. You just have to be annoying because like the worst anyone can say is no.
Yeah, and it's already a no if you don't ask. So what do you have to lose?
But I have a few friends too that used to play in like the Austin scene. And so I hit them up and we tried to reach out to some of the venues that they also sent out.
When are these Austin shows?
On the 10th.
Of what?
March 10th.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I feel like South by Southwest happens earlier and earlier every year. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, but we're playing March 10th at Hole in the Wall for this No Sleep, No Hunger showcase,
Okay.
which should be fun. And then on the 11th, we're going to be playing at Sahara Lounge for a different showcase. It's a charity showcase, which is cool. It's like for prison education.
Sure. I don't want numbers. Are you doing this out of your own pocket? Like, are y'all flying or driving or whatever to Austin and then paying for your own hotel stay? You're paying. Are you getting paid at all for this?
This one. No, we're flying Spirit Airlines.
That's not even a real airline. Go ahead.
It's just a box in the sky.
Oh, exactly.
We're going to take the Airbus.
We're still looking for places to stay in Austin, hoping that like maybe somebody that knows somebody can put us up. But I mean, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
All 4 of you are still looking for a place?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
We booked these flights with like no shows booked and no plan.
You booked the flights before you even had. That's really cool.
We had one maybe, but I've always wanted to go to South by, so I was like, it would be fun. I'd be down to go anyway.
Yeah.
And then it worked out.
Are you going to take a bunch of merch?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to sound so weird, and I don't know if you even have time to do this, but 30 years ago, my dad was going to South by Southwest because he was just a huge fan. And it was a lot smaller back then, as you can imagine. But when he went, he just went as a spectator. He didn't go as an act. But he went as a spectator, and he got to meet so many people. But he also got so much like swag, I guess. Like he came back home with like probably a dozen cassette tapes and vinyl singles, like just all this crazy shit. And most of them was music he really wasn't into, but he was just like, oh, I'll take it because it's free, because my dad's like that. But some of those cassettes, like he gave them to me because he didn't want them. I played those fucking things until they broke. Mm-hmm. And I've never been, like, those artists never made it. Mm-hmm. I loved their music so much. And so I don't know if it's a thing that you can do, but if you can take some of your music, I mean, I know you're already spending a lot of money, but if you can just kind of huck some at the people, just throw some shit out there to the fools and kind of get your names out that way or whatever. As a recipient of stuff like that, it was life-changing. It was so dope. So, like I said, I don't know if that's in your wheelhouse or your budget, but
yeah, I can try and burn some CDs before.
Yeah, we should burn some CDs. That's a great
I
idea.
have some right here.
We can have some more too.
We got some.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, rad. Well, oh my gosh, guys and girls, this has been a blast. This is going to sound a little weird, but I don't ask 4 people all of this at the same time, but bear with me. Before I let you go, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about that you specifically wanted to talk about today? Any of you? Like, did we cover the big bits?
I think like covering our band for sure. I guess if you wanted to talk more about the single that's coming out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. The one that we heard?
Yes, the one that we heard. Yeah.
Where was this recorded?
We recorded at RCR Studios with Alexi Godard.
What does that stand for again? Red Convertible Records. Recordings. Yeah, that's in Williamsburg, right across from the famed Kellogg's Diner, now taco joint.
Yeah. But we recorded it in one day?
Yeah. Yeah.
One half day.
We did 2 songs in one day. And we did vocals at Mercy Sound recording.
Yeah.
In East Village.
It was really fun. It's crazy to record like 2 songs in just half a day. It definitely feels a little bit like a race against time, but I felt like we were able to like within that sort of like bottle up that energy and do it really tight. And we record all together. So it has that real like live band sound, which is I think really special.
Where they can find you on social media.
You can find us on Instagram at the.dutch.kills and then also on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an idea for a TikTok.
Oh, perfect.
I'm going to make it. I just need the password.
We're like
a draft.
We're like trying to do
Give us the password, Julia.
Yeah, Julia.
But then TikTok, it's like just the Dutch Kills. But yeah, we're trying to do more TikToks. I feel like if you want to make it as an artist now, you kind of have to, which sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm on there too, and I hate it so much. It's the worst thing. I don't do any dance or anything. I just post clips, but good God, I hate TikTok so much.
Yeah.
But you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I found so much cool music on there too. Like, you know, like, and it's from bands that are always like, I can't believe we have to post that. But then you hear them, you know, and you're like, oh, they're so good. Like,
name one.
What's a band
Strawberry
I found
Lunch
on?
is on
Strawberry
TikTok.
Lunch is big on TikTok. There's this band Dino Gala I found on TikTok. I love those guys.
All right, that's enough pimping other people. What's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, Maxine on bass, Alec on guitar, Heather on drums, Julia Van Dutch on guitar and lyrics and singing, and all of them are doing the things as the Dutch Kills. Don't forget to go back and check out their debut EP, The Rot. Stay tuned for their upcoming EP, which we will not name. And wait, do we have a name?
No, it's not recorded yet.
Yeah.
All right, rad. You already heard Cheap Love a few minutes ago. Go stream it everywhere, add it to playlists all over the place. With that, thank you all, Maxine, Alec, Heather, and Julia. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic recording and making music schedules to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This has been
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a blast.
Thank you. Stay warm.
Say, oh, you're so sweet. We're going to lose power. I know it. I'm going to die before this episode comes out. I'm going to freeze to death.
Before that.
Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Awesome. Nice to meet
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
You too. Opening music is the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin. Closing music is from the song Say My Name off the 2021 album Underdog Anthems, used with permission from Jax Hollow. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show on iTunes and wherever else you download podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the episodes are available there as well. Check me out on Vero at Fascination Street Pod and TikTok at Fascination Street Pod. And again, thanks for listening.